Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. Raid's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collaboration goes on, and now we have a big meta event that might even be bigger than you initially would think. Ace Reporter Titan event, and in this video I'm going to take a look at this event, tell you everything you need to know about this one and how it also connects to Leonardo and Raphael. First, thank you Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video and for giving me this wonderful promo link. You can find it down below in the description. You can find it on QR code. A new account with this link gives you Deacon Armstrong after the tutorial, then Uugo at 15, Tagoar at 20 and Mausoleum Mage at 30, the best possible start to Raid. But then the Ace Reporter Titan event. So these Titan events, it's a little bit annoying that Plarium does not give us a proper calendar of these events. So first of all, they're going to give us a rough breakdown of points, and then in Plarium Play you can see a calendar like a week ahead, but you won't be able to see the exact point distribution or all the full details. So we do know that you need 1500 points for all the rewards, and the last reward is April O'Neil Champion, and that there are 1750 points available. 890 points on the first part, then 710 points in the second part, and the last part has only 150 points. So this is effectively a 2-week event, with the last days being so few points overall. And the big reward from this Titan event is April O'Neil Champion at 1500 points. Other than that, it's a little bit slim pickings. I mean, there is a legendary tome. There's actually 2 legendary tomes, 916 and 1300 points. There's an XP barrel, there's a mythical tome. There is like 1 5-star chicken out there. There's some epic relic, but it's like a B tier relic. So nothing too exciting. But I think there's a good explanation for this, because there are good reasons to believe that both the Leonardo and Raphael guaranteed events will happen during this Titan event, and they will also award you with pizza points. So they don't have to give you as many good rewards from the Titan event, because you're going to be chasing after those Leonardo and Raphael. But what about April? April obviously is not a turtle, and what you really want are those turtles, because when you have multiple turtles, then their ally attacks make them just totally bonkers. So April, there is currently a bug that causes April to prevent bosses from taking any action, which is kind of hilarious because April just instantly wins a lot of fights right now. But Plarium has announced that this is a bug, it will be fixed. Bosses will be made immune to April's nullify ability, which currently prevents bosses from taking any action. Then in PvP, April has a pretty unique kit with turn meter and cooldown, so it may become valuable later. But that's a big bet to make. So are you going to chase after a champion that has a unique kit, and maybe that's going to be useful down the line, or maybe not? So April overall is not that awesome. However, if you have the resources to go for Leonardo, or even for both Leonardo and Raphael, then there might be a chance to pick up April while you're just going for those other ones. Do note that Plarium has not officially confirmed Leo and Raphael event schedules, but it's quite likely that they will both take place during this Titan event. So my personal plan is to start doing these April Titan event things. So because first there's like gear hunters and there's a fire night dungeon. So just spending energy in some dungeons. So okay, I can do that. That's totally fine. And I wait for more information on Leonardo, Raphael, how the pizza points are going to go in there. Especially, let's say that Leo, I believe that Hero's Path is going to be Leo. It's going to be on Friday. How many pizza points are there? Where are they in that path? So are they going to be viable to pick up those and pick up Leo, or is it just so much additional cost? But the first April events, using just energy, I think I will start doing them, start collecting those pizza points, and then see if I continue all the way once I know a little bit more. Because on Plarium Play we can currently see the calendar for the first part. Gear Hunters and Finite Turn Attack both started today. There's 80 pizza points available from Gear Hunters, then 10 pizza points more than in the last Titan event. Last Titan event Gear Hunters was worth 70, and Finite Turn Attack is 40 pizza points, which is in line with previous events. Then we're going to get 2 sets of gear enhancement. We're going to get Dragon Turn Attack, Ice Golem Turn Attack, or Shredder's Fat, so Event Dungeon, a Champion Training, a Classic Arena, and then a Hero's Path from 10th to 13th October, so starting on Friday, and that's potentially going to be Leonardo. And if all the other events have as many pizza points as typical in these Titan events, then that would mean that Hero's Path would give you 420 points. So yeah, that's quite a lot. Of course, it implies that shards are being involved here, and Yeah, so knowing what that hero's path is going to be, how easy the points from that are going to be, is crucially important in ultimately deciding whether you're going to go for April, but you can start doing these other events already. They're not that much of an investment. And here is the calendar as we can currently see it from the Plarium Play. So Fire Knight has just started, Gear Hunters has just started. Gear Hunters will also overlap Shredder's Wrath, so there are 2 dungeons that you can do together with Gear Hunters. Then there's going to be the Champion Training, Dragon, Classic Arena, Ice Golem, Gear Enhancement, and that Hero's Path from Friday until Monday. So I'm really expecting Leonardo and Raphael to be part of this overall event, because the original App Store leak, the App Store description for Raid originally said that Leonardo Swordmaster Path would be from October 7th to 10th, and Raphael's Hothead Deck of Fate would be from October 13th to 16th. And Plarium later said that some of the details in that message were wrong, and they would announce them closer. And now we have a Hero's Path confirmed for October 10 to 13th, so just a couple of days later than the original Leonardo Swordmaster Path was supposed to be, so I believe this will be the Leonardo event. And then there's going to be a Deck of Fate at some point. Last time Deck of Fate had only 100 pizza points in it. We don't know how many pizza points are going to be in this one. Is it 150? Is it the last part? 100 pizza points could easily fit into the second week as well. So there's lots of options. And there might even be an option where you go all in for Leonardo, you get Leonardo, and you might be able to get April, even if you don't have resources to get Raphael. And a couple of words about some of the events going on in the first week. There's that Event Dungeon Tournament that's partially overlapping the Gear Hunters. So the regular dungeon tournaments, these have these sweet spots right before energy cost changes. So 7, 11, 16, 20. 20 is the preferred one, and then those would be the next best ones. Event Dungeon is a little bit different because it doesn't drop mystery shards, it doesn't drop XP brews. So stage 20 is still the optimal stage. But these lower stages before 16 are relatively much better for Event Dungeon than they are for other dungeons, which means that, for example, stage 15 actually gives you slightly more points than stage 16. And then when you take into account Gear Hunters, in Gear Hunters actually stage 3 Event Dungeon is the best points per energy that you can have for Gear Hunters, but if you want to combine it with the Event Dungeon Tournament, then 7 and 11 are quite viable compromises, because 3 is pretty bad for the tournament. Event Dungeon a little bit different than other dungeons. Then we have a couple of these turn attack tournaments coming, with Fire Knight starting today. And turn attack tournament is also a little bit different than a regular dungeon tournament, because each stage in a bracket gives you the exact same amount of points. So you generally want to do the lowest stage in the highest bracket that you can. So brackets go from normal 1 to 3, 4 to 7, 8 to 11, 12 to 16, 17 to 20, 21 to 24. So for example, 17 to 20 is a bracket. So typically you would want to do 17 or maybe 18 or 19 if the affinities go better for you there. But 20 is typically a pretty poor choice. Whereas 21 then would be the lowest stage in the next bracket. So that would be a much stronger one to do, because the points, they drop off sharply at the start and then they start to plateau. So if you're not clearing these very quickly, if you can clear these in like 5 turns, yeah, that can be pretty sweet. But if you're not clearing these under 10 turns, then you generally want to just go to a higher bracket and take 100 turns there, because, for example, 10 turns in 12 gives you the same amount of points as 150 turns in 17. So as you can see, it doesn't actually require a few turns if you're able to do just a higher level. So that's all we know currently about the Ace Reporter Titan event. Exciting times. I'm going to start working on this event right away, and then once we know more about that Hero's Path, then that will really determine how I proceed with the main event as well. But Hero's Path potential for Leonardo on Friday, I'm so excited and I can't wait, and yeah, good times ahead. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.